Hi everyone, so today let's study with the budgetary control chapter, which is a category C chapter, but I feel it's important if you're leaving standard costing. So I thought we will do it the reverse order. So first we'll solve the questions, then we'll understand the topics, then we'll solve the case scenarios along with the test your knowledge questions. So let's start with the test your knowledge question. First question is about feedback and the feed forward controls. So there are two types of controls under budgetary control. One is feed forward control, which is a preventive control, and there's a feedback control, which is a detective and corrective control. So there are two types of control, but in this first question they're asking two things. One, you just have to read through the question, which is really simple. So basically what they're trying to tell in this question is they want to maintain the liquidity in their company, so that it will be easier for their transactions. So for that, the manager wants to reduce the CC, the cash credit, to zero. That is the first action he wants to take. And the second action is he wants to maintain the positive cash balance of 1,45,000. Okay, these are the two actions. Okay, so the first action is the feedback action. The second action, where he wants to maintain 1,45,000 as this positive cash balance, is a feed forward action. So let's read the answer. So it says, in feed forward control, instead of actual results being compared against the desired results, forecasts are made in the feed forward control. They're talking about feed forward control. Instead of actual results being compared against the desired results, forecasts are made of what results are expected in future, correct? To be in the future time. If these expectations differ from what is desired, control actions are taken that will minimize these gaps. In the scenario, EW partners have two following expectations. One is to reduce the CC balance to zero. The other one is to have a positive cash balance of 1,45,000 rupees. Therefore, to achieve above expectations, the cash budget will be prepared based on the various functional budgets, showing cash inflows and outflows for each month, so that the firm can identify its anticipated monthly cash balance. Okay, what are they trying to say? To achieve the above expectation, there are two expectations. So a cash budget will be prepared. Cash budget will be prepared based on various functional budgets. Showing cash inflows and outflows for each month, so that the firm can identify its anticipated monthly cash balance. So that if you know your inflows and outflows, then you can anticipate how much will be the balance at the end. This can then be compared with the firm's expectation to see if their cash balance objective are being achieved. However, if the objectives are not met by these budgets may need to be revised by changing the levels of activities. It is the process of feed forward control. Which is important. Underline the feed forward control part. The feedback control involves monitoring the results achieved against the desired results, monitoring the results which have been achieved against the desired results, and taking whatever corrective action is necessary if the deviation exists, and taking corrective actions if the deviation exists. Thus, in the case of EW partners, a comparison of the actual monthly cash balance can be made against the budgeted cash balance for that month. The actual cash balance can be compared with the budgeted cash balance for that particular month. As with any budget and actual comparison, there may be adverse or favorable variances. So in this case, there can be two variances. One is favorable, the other one is adverse. If this is substantial, then further analysis may be needed to determine its reason. It may be that costs above budgets, cash receipts lower than expected, or receivables took less time to pay than expected, or payables were paid later than expected. This comparison process is feedback control. Conclusion. What is the conclusion? Feed forward control attempts to take corrective action before an event, whereas feedback control takes corrective action after the event. This is the first question in test your knowledge. Feedback and feed forward related, there is one case scenario. You can come to page number, in my book, the page number is 11.9. That is 11.9. Yeah, this is about the real petroleum corporation manufacturers, where they're manufacturing lubricant oils and they are packaging in 900 ml cans. Okay, so the entire scenario, I've read this already, so I'll just explain you. So there are cans of 900 ml. If the cans are weighing below 900 ml, then that particular can will be rejected. It cannot be used, reused, whatever. It will be completely rejected. Okay, so if you want to avoid this, you can take one corrective action wherein you install a system where it weighs exactly 900 ml and then it goes for the packaging as in, like, the sealing part. Correct. So if that happens, then there will not be any rejections. Correct. So to install this particular system, you need some expenses. Correct. So you need some cash to expend on this particular system. So take that amount. Imagine that is 1 lakh rupees to install this system. Imagine the rejected piece that is amounting up to 90,000 rupees. Then which is the best one? 90,000, because you are losing only 90,000. Here you have to take 1 lakh rupees from your pocket and spend, right? But for long term, this is more beneficial when compared to that. Correct. So this is the scenario. Okay, what they're trying to say is, what is the question? Using the context of control system, identify and explain the type of control which is existing in the company and the type of control which is proposed. Okay, so this is also related to feedback and feed forward. Okay, so what is control? They're talking about control definition they've given. Control is the management function of establishing benchmark and comparing actual performance against the benchmarks. Comparing your actual performance against the benchmark and taking corrective actions. Control is required at all levels of organization to ensure that the organization achieves its intended objectives. There are two types of control. One is feedback control, the other one is feed forward control. So in the feedback control, what happens? Feedback control is post-action control. Then feedback control provides information only after the process is complete, and sometimes a significant time is lost to take corrective action. Feedback-based systems have the advantage of being simple and easy. Feedback systems are being simple and easy because already there is an error, you're trying to correct the error, so it is easy and simple. Real Petroleum currently has a feedback control mechanism in place. They already have feedback control system in place because once they see it is weighing below 900 or 90 ml, it is 900 ml. So once you see that it is weighing below that limit, then you take a corrective action by discarding that piece. Correct. So that is your feedback control. Right. Currently they have that system in place. The actual volume of the product is measured at the end of the packaging process. The current control process is that any can which is short filled, okay, the same thing has been explained. So the current control system, however, leads to product losses, as identification of short filled cans at the end of the process is not useful to the production process. In case there is a huge variation in the final packaging, the packaging system can be reviewed and to ensure that such problems do not acquire in the future. Okay, then the feed forward control they're trying to implement to bring in one system wherein it can measure and then go for the sealing. So feed forward control is also referred as preventive control. What is that? That is post action control. This is preventive control. The rationale behind feed forward control is to foresee potential problems and to take corrective actions to ensure that potential problems and to take corrective action to ensure that the final output is as expected. Feed forward controls are desirable because they allow management to prevent problems rather than having to cure them later. Feed forward control are costly to implement. They're definitely costly. They're not simple like that. Okay, they're costly to implement as it acquires additional investment and resources. These are designed to detect deviations from standard or goal to allow correction to be made before a particular sequence of actions is completed. So in this particular question, in this given case, any short filling is identified in the packaging process itself and corrective action is taken to ensure that the final packed can has proper quantity of product. The new process is beneficial to the company as the wastage arising out of packaging process can be avoided. The savings must be compared. 90,000, 1 lakh in my previous example. So that should be compared with the cost required to modify the packaging process before finalizing on whether new system should be implemented or not.